Hello everybody, this is Adrienne with Essential Soul Coaching. Today is January the 11th, 2023. So I hope a lot of you all had a chance to hear more from Harry in his interview and from his book, Despair. Because from someone, and him and his wife, who were saying they are very humanitarians and they care about people and women's voices should be heard, and that they're both feminists. What Harry wrote in that book about the lady named Pat who worked at his school and how they joked her and the things he said about her, and how they talked about Camilla, about her being a witch, but he's mad that people are saying his wife is a witch, and how people, people talking about Megan and how she should be walk the walk of shame with people throwing excrement at her, which, I don't agree with that type of talk. I know it's based on a movie or whatever. But now you have Harry in his own books denigrating women throughout the book. How he had sex with women, physicality of people, or handicaps, I should say, if it was a handicap. Calling Camilla a witch because she was with, his father, and he didn't want her to be with his father because, of course, he doesn't want Camilla to take his mother's place as queen consort. And I get it. I get that. But don't be a hypocrite and sit there and go on these shows and talk about how much you care about people and how you just want your voice to be heard and how you want to be back with your brother and your father and your family. But you're out there talking about your brother, calling your brother, talking about his hair loss. I mean, look in the mirror, boo. You don't have any hair either, not much. And what you see in pictures is all airbrushed. Okay, you're talking about your father's secrets about carrying around the teddy bear because he was bullied when he was a child. You sit there and you say, no one has the right to talk about you and your wife in the media. You sit and dare bold-face on television and wrote a book and it's told everything and probably thinks it's not true, but it doesn't matter. You're talking about your family. You're not even hiding. You're being very vindictive and revengeful. And a lot of this stuff is made up in your head, but you think you have every right to go on every media circuit and tell everybody everything you think you know about your family just so you can cut them down and make them feel small. But who's feeling small, honey? It is not them, because they're letting you hang yourself. The more you talk, the more you look stupid. And I'm sorry to be a coach and to say something like that, but you are despicable. That's all I have to say. You're despicable, Harry, and your wife who's promoting you and pushing you to do this stuff.
Even wanted Camilla to be happy. Maybe she'd be less dangerous if she was happy. Mm-hmm. How was she dangerous?
Because of the need for her to rehabilitate her image.
That made her dangerous?
That made her dangerous because of the connections that she was forging within the British press.
I want to sort of just briefly talk about your stepmother in the press, because you are pretty consistently scathing and suggest that you are...
Scathing?
Well...
What's scathing towards...
Well, as in you say that your interests were sacrificed on her PR altar.
I think in the book it's very clear what happened. There's no part of any of the things that I've said are scathing towards any member of my family, especially not my stepmother. Unlike the other matrons, Pat wasn't hot. Pat was cold. Pat was small. Walking was hard, stairs were torture. She'd descend backwards, glacially. Often we'd stand on the landing below her doing antic dances, making faces. Do I need to say which boy did this with the most enthusiasm? We went on mocking her as she came down the stairs. The reward was worth the risk. For me, the reward wasn't tormenting poor Pat, but making my mates laugh. Who the hell is this editor? Loathsome toad, I gathered. Everyone who knew her was in full agreement that she was an infected pustule on the arse of humanity, plus an excuse for a journalist.
And the thing about the military, when you talked about the number of kills you had, it has nothing to do with what you did with Vindictive and how you are trying to help disabled vets be heard and have an ability, have an arena to thrive and to compete. It has nothing to do with that. Talking about the number of Taliban that you killed, put your family and the British people in the military at risk. No one's talking about your valor or whatever you did when you were in the military. No one's taking that away from you. It's what you said about how many you killed. And it's not the media that's hyping it up. You don't think the Taliban can read? Just like you don't think we can sit there and determine that you told Oprah, you and your wife, let everybody think that the royal family was racist. You don't think we could understand the insinuations? It was a very veiled, thin line. Because Oprah said, was it race? And your wife said that's what you want to assume. That's a safe assumption. So I'm sorry, you did let people think that your family was racist. You are a conniving little snivel of a person. And I don't know why the media is giving you so much attention and why people are buying that book. Because that book, all it shows is how delusional you are. How many problems you still have. Bearing a baby that was of a miscarriage. Talking about your wife is magical because she can sing the seals. Thinking that your wife is your mother. And yes, I really do think you still have problems with your mother. You are mad that she left you alone. You are mad that you didn't pick up the phone the last time she called you. You are just mad.